Hi everyone, it's Patty the Quiet Sister. Welcome back to my channel. For today's card project, I made a Slimline Beach Day card using Pixie Dust Designs Beach Day Slimline die set. So to get started, I cut the frame and the sand out of Catherine Pooler Dune cardstock, and I put some purple tape and taped off the edges so it looks like there's a frame all the way around the edge from the ink blending. And for the ink blending, I used Distress Oxide gathered twigs. So now here I am doing some cloud stenciling, and this is a wonderful, wonderful stencil. It's from A Colorful Life Designs, and it's called the Cloud Edger. And it's different than others because you start from the bottom instead of going from the top to create your clouds. Now, because this is a slimline, I had to do 2 rows, I guess would be the best way to say it, 2 rows per half a card, or here I'm doing actually 3 on the top part, just to get all the clouds in. I think they look more realistic than the other cloud stencils that I've used, but the other ones have a purpose. They're more adorable. So it's nice to have adorable clouds on your cards too. So I do have a purpose for both of them. I have a cloud stencil from I believe MFT, and then a cloud stencil from Honeybee, and they all serve their purpose. So I've got the clouds in the background, got our sand, got our frame, and so now all these adorable dies I'm going to cut out of white cardstock. I used MFT's cardstock, and it worked great. I did some Copic coloring. Sorry for the airplane noise in the background. It's flying really low and really loud. So I took a couple of the dies from the Pixie Dust stamp set, or Pixie Dust die set, and I'm cutting out waves, and it was a little, the dies were a little shorter than the paper I used, so I'm trying to decide what part I liked better on the waves. Did I like the one with the pointy edge or the rounded edge? Because you could use either. And I decided I think I like the pointy edge. And so I ended up making 3 wave patterns, but I only used 2, and I just tucked the other one away for future use. So again, I was deciding what I wanted, got my wave patterns cut out, and now I'm going to use my paper trimmer to cut a small, medium, and large wave set. And so I don't use the bottom one. I ended up not needing it. And now I'm cutting out all the adorable elements. The crabs, you guys, the crabs are so cute. And the starfish is really cute too. And if you have like a lawn fawn set that has really cute faces on it, I could have stamped a face on the starfish. I just opted not to, but it would definitely have worked, just to add a little more adorableness. Getting everything poked out. So the die set comes with a couple sizes of clouds, the palm tree, 2 versions of a sailboat, the front and the back of a crab, so the crab can either be running at you or running away from you, and a sun, and then an outline of the sun. So that worked really great. And I wanted 2 palm trees and some more clouds, so I'm throwing things on there, and I think I wanted 2 starfish too, so I put another starfish on there, getting those cut out. And that little dish you see me throwing everything in, that is from a store called Harbor Freight. I think it was $2. It's magnetized, so it sticks to my magnetic mat really well. And I just put all my die cuts in there, and I don't ever knock it over. Everything stays there. And then you can throw your dies in there too, and they don't get lost. So I am, for some reason, only using one hand while I take all these die cuts and put them on my Altenew stamp wheel. And I'm setting them there using the sticky mat, and then I'm going to Copic color these. And this was some pretty quick Copic coloring. This card did not take me long at all, like less than an hour to get everything done. So first I am ink blending. This is the wave that I didn't use, but it's still cute. And I'm using Catherine Pooler's On the Lake on this. It's a cute color, really cute. That looks like a Minnesota lake color. It's really pretty. And then for the next wave, I'm using sea glass, and this reminds me a little more of oceans or seas, a little less lake looking. And I wasn't worried about getting a perfect blend. I just wanted to get a lot on there because I am going to spray it with water to get all the highs and lows and everything. So I'm just throwing some ink down, not worrying too much about it being really well blended, and it does smooth out as it dries. And then for the final layer, the water that'll be furthest back, I used Bay Breeze. So again, a blue-green, just a darker version of that. Just a touch more blue and gray in it than sea glass. Yeah, sea glass. So again, not looking for a perfect or good blend, because I'm going to be spraying water all over it to get all the highs and lows and letting it sit. And I'll clean up my mess, and then I will bring those other 2 layers back and spray them with water as well. And I didn't bother blotting the water off. I let them dry because I really liked the pattern that was emerging from those. So now we are moving on to, so that's what the water looked like together if I would have kept it all together. We're moving on to coloring our images. And so to get started, I colored the sailboat, the wooden part of the boat. I used E15, E17, and E18. And so I colored everything in E15, and then I came in and made the sides a little darker and with the E18, and then blended in a little bit more with the E17, and then colored it all out again with the E15. And so that is W10, so it's almost black. It's a really dark gray, and that's what I colored the birds in. And then I'm picking them up and I'm going around the edges with the marker too, just so that they look completely black. And then for the palm tree trunks, I colored them all with a W2, and then I came in, the darkest color would be a W7, and did the marks on the bark with the W7. And then I took my W5 and blended out the W7. And then I went over all of that again with the W2 just to blend it out. And once that dried, it looked perfect. I didn't have to go over it anymore. And then for the palm part of the palm trees, I did a base layer of G05, and then I came in and with the G28 to add some definition to the leaves, and then I blended that out with G17, and then colored over everything again with G05. So just really basic coloring. I don't know if you can hear, my neighbor is teaching his daughter how to ride a bike, and apparently she's doing really well. She's so happy. It's so cute. Okay, just to add a little dimension onto the sails, I went over it with a C1 and then a C3, and then I blended it all out with just an alcohol blender, a C0. I meant to start with a C3 and I started with the C1, so that was kind of a waste of time, but get it all blended out. And then coming in with my blending marker to blend all that out. And then the starfish, I didn't really do anything fancy. I just colored it with the B26 and one of the flags with the B26. I looked up starfish and there's actually blue ones. So I thought, okay, perfect. We're going to have red, white, and blue because this is going to be a Memorial Day card. Well, it's a birthday card, but it's for Memorial Day. So I'm coloring the crabs with R29 and then doing some shading with R39. And I use the R29 on the flag as well too for the other sailboat. And the face on that little crab that gets indented by the dye is so cute. So when I was putting the card together, I just accented the face a little bit and it turned out adorable. And then on the back of the crab, I just made 2 like parenthesis marks just to kind of show a rounded back. and kind of like what I'm doing on the clouds, and then just blended that out. And so for the clouds, I used the same colors I used on the sails, C1, C3, and then blended it out with the blender pen. And so that's the coloring. Oh, the sun. I forgot about the sun. So for that, I used Y15 and Y17, and I apologize for being out of frame. That's the Y17 that I'm doing, which is the outer ring of the sun. There we go. I figured it out. So it comes with the sun base, and then the outer ring, and then the actual sun, which is adorable. So now I'm just going to glue the couple parts that needed gluing together, the sun, and then one of the sailboats, and then the flag on both of the sailboats, and the palm tree. Going to get all that glued together and the background. So we're taking our biggest layer of water and gluing that down first. And there's not going to be any foam tape. This card's got to go in the mail, so I don't need any problems with the mail. So while that background is drying, I'll put together the sailboat. And everything else that needs to be put together. I just love those clouds above the waterline. They're so cute. So then here are the choppier waves in the sea. And they're a little bit closer, so they're a little bit lighter, but I wanted them higher up, and you can see I didn't put them all the way down, but the base of the card will cover that. And everything was adhered with Barely Arts glue. And normally I use my precision glue press, but for some reason I just didn't think of it. So isn't that cute? You get the sand, sky, and sea. So I just think it's adorable. So I am using Simon Says Stamps Narwhal. I'm trying to think of it. Let me grab it. Narwhal Friends. And the happy birthday from that. And I'm stamping it on to the card with VersaFine black ink. And I got it a little crooked, but I didn't care. I wasn't going to redo anything for that. So the frame was a little bit shorter than the sides of my background, so I did have to trim that off, and I don't know if I did it on camera, but I did have to trim down the left and right side of the card panel. I don't know why I can't clean later. I have to clean even though camera's running, and I should have edited it out, but I didn't. Okay, so back to the card panel. And now I'm just going to kind of figure out how I want it arranged. I had done this earlier, so I sort of knew already what I wanted to do, but just playing. So I didn't end up using one of the clouds, but otherwise I think I ended up using everything else besides that one water panel. Yeah, putting the starfish around the sentiment to kind of highlight it, getting the sailboats in there. No, must have been too much white at the bottom. So the one sailboat comes as one piece and the other sailboat comes as parts, so you can do things dimensionally, like make the sails pop out, add a little foam tape on the sail. You could cut the other one apart, but I just think it's really smart how they did that. And then the flag comes separate too, so you can make that, pop that up as well. It's just very well thought out and executed, this die set. Plus, pixie dust. I didn't do a video on it, but last October and November I made Christmas stockings for the newest greats in the family, and I used their Christmas mug set, and it cut felt beautifully, just beautifully, and so I put that on used that to make designs on the felt stockings, and it worked out really great. They just think of everything. just getting everything glued down. The birds add so much. I was really surprised how it just kind of completed the card. I didn't add any sequins. I didn't feel like it needed it to this card. I think there was enough movement and everything with the, you can see that the flags are blowing. The trees are curved, so they look like they're blowing. The water looks like it's moving. So it's that there's enough movement in the card. It didn't need any additional bling in it. Still playing around. Okay, getting that glued down. So I'd got this die set several months ago because it just reminds me, we have a huge lake, probably about a half hour from where we live. We live in Minnesota. It's called Minnetonka. Just huge. And so this is the time of year, Memorial Weekend, where you'll drive by and you'll see 30 sailboats on the lake. You can tell it's the sailboats are out, summer is coming. So that's just kind of what it reminded me of. Although in Minnesota you would see pine trees or other kinds of trees, not palm trees. But we had to make it tropical and fun. So once I get all of this down, which we should be almost there. Yeah, those blocks are Catherine Pooler acrylic blocks. And they are wonderful and they clean up beautifully. I do have to say they have a good weight to them, so it holds everything flat. I didn't have anything warp. And for stamping with the grid lines on the blocks, if you need to stamp something without a MISTI, that it works great and they clean up so well. So very well. All right, so we got everything pretty much glued down or glued down. We'll get the blocks on there, let everything dry, clean up our mess. And then I'm going to pull out my card base and get the card panel adhered. Again, just using Barely Arts glue. This was a really fun card. There was nothing hard about it. Just gotta relax, enjoy. I forget what was on TV. I'm sure I was watching something on HGTV again. And just, it was really fun for me. Sometimes you think a card's gonna be fun and what happens in your head doesn't come out. But this one, it really translated easily for me. So now I'm getting out my black gel pen. It's from Jelly Roll, and getting eyes on the crab, and it just changed everything. So cute having eyes on the crab. And then I've got my Wink of Stella, and that's clear Wink of Stella, getting some shine on the starfish. I put a lot of shine on this. I can't remember where everything went. The clouds maybe. Well, the crabs are shiny. Oh, even the palm. Even the trunks get a little shine to them. I wish the camera picked up the shine because it looks so fun. Very glittery. And then to just get a touch more shine once I've done that, I break out the glossy accents. And of course mine had dried up on me, so I have to get a pin to unclog it. Because I didn't do what I was supposed to do before I put them away and clear the tip. So I put glossy accents on the starfish and on the crabs and on the birds and on the sun. And so it just adds a little bit more. And then one thing I didn't do on camera, but you can see it in the final photo, is I took the lightest brown that I was using, which was E15, and I went and I put a little shadow under each palm tree and a little shadow under the crab and some shadow around the starfish, just to add just a touch of dimension. And you'll see that at the very end. I apologize for not showing it. All right. So that completes the card today. Thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you all have a wonderful week.